Hey guys, this is David, the Georgia photographer. Here I am at the beautiful West End Hotel in downtown Chattanooga. And what I want to do today is I'm going to spend about an hour, hour and a half trying to do some urban photography. Maybe you could classify it as street photography. There's not a lot going on the streets, so it'll be kind of thin as far as human participation goes. Let's see what this is. Alright, that was housekeeping. Ever checking the doors. I'm gonna try to get some urban photography today. I've got the Fuji, let me grab it. I'm gonna run the XT3 today with the kit lens because I like the kit lens, it works so well. In daytime scenarios, this lens is a beautiful complement to this camera. I've also got the 105 f2.5 Nikkor lens with an adapter. So if I want a little bit longer focal length, I can go to that. You know, this one stops at 55 and then that one's 105, so that gives me about double what this does. With that, let's go outside and let's start this photo journey. And just like that, we're on the street. Now we're gonna walk around downtown. I got my backpack with my camera in it. Let's do this, come on. Security camera watching the depository here. Now, that's like camera inception. All right, what we got here today is we got the think tank photo, whatever this bag is. I don't remember, it's got some kind of bizarre name. But we're gonna get the XT3 out and use it. There we go. Let's do this. Well, that Fisher building is pretty interesting. Built in 1869, so that's only 4 years after the war, and Chattanooga was toward the end of the war, so Chattanooga was pretty much in ruins then, so it was apparently part of Reconstruction. It's a pretty interesting old building. It's kind of nice to see what they're doing with it. It looked like it was a school to start with from the way the placard read. So let's see what else we've got going around here. You ever wonder why government always builds such opulent structures? They don't need it. They're just spending tax dollars on something for high decorative value, and that's it. I've often wondered why would you blow money on that when there's so many other things that the taxpayers that are funding this sort of opulence really need more than a fancy marble building. That might be concrete, but it looks like it's cut limestone actually. But that's just wasteful. I mean, why couldn't they have built a simple structure and then took the balance of that money and spent it on housing or programs to teach people how to earn a living, you know, to help the homeless, to help veterans who have PTSD, any number of things they could have spent that money on, but they chose to build that huge building. It's just bizarre to me. And what you see here is the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Auditorium. This is a pretty iconic landmark in Chattanooga. I've come to concerts here back in the 80s. I watched, what was his name? His nickname was a possum, George Jones. I seen him in concert here, and T.G. Shepherd. T.G. Shepherd did the, what was that? The Folgers commercial. He sang it on stage. It was pretty cool. Another fun fact is that every January, the Lookout Wild Film Festival is held here, and we'll be attending this year. At some point, I want to submit a movie to that, so we'll see how that goes. Chattanooga is filled with such interesting architecture from days gone by. This building here, for instance, that's apparently a carriage house from, well, let's get past these fans. And you can see over the years, they've actually built the sidewalk in front of it since then, but you can see there was two doorways for wagons or trucks or something at some point in time. and they've blocked in one. You can see where they've tubed in the bricks to fill it in and put this doorway in it. And then the other one they just filled in with a decorative bay window. But it's been this way so long, the sidewalk doesn't even have a roadway provision anymore. It's just curbed. But yeah, that's probably built in the 1880s or 1890s if I had to guess. You can never get a true sense for what a city's like till you walk around in a little while and kind of experience it at ground level. It's just interesting to walk around this area. I've driven through here 1,000 times or more and just never really paid attention to a lot of the architecture. Like, look at all this. This building with a curved nose on it. And this multi-story office building. I've noticed them, but you never really give them a second look. Look at that. That's pretty interesting. But get out and explore your town. It's worth it. It's just really incredible to see it from this perspective. This is the new Miller Park. Used to be a bunch of old growth trees all in this little area, and they sawed them all down, pulled up the stumps completely. There was a low area down in here. They filled all that in, brought the grade up above street level, and created a pseudo amphitheater for like concert projects and things. There was a pretty heavy homeless contingent living here at that point, and I don't know if that was part of the revitalization project with Chattanooga to kind of push those homeless people out into a different area, because it took them 2 years to build this, and in that meantime, of course, they had it all fenced off, so those people had to move on. They couldn't stay here anymore. But now it's got all new trees. You can see they planted some white oaks and some stuff, but it's kind of blah now. It doesn't have a lot of character. It's just a grassy field with some trees around the edge and some brick paver stones on the northern side here, and a sidewalk. That's all it is now. They've got these weird features. It's almost for the skateboard crowd, but they put gravel in, I'm assuming, to keep the skateboarders out. But I don't know. It's kind of bizarre. There's some kind of activity been going on with this rock, as you can see by all of the marks on it. Something's been happening here, but yeah, the park looks different. I haven't seen it. I haven't been in the park since they remodeled it. We got little chairs and tables. The tables are anchored. But yeah, well, there we go. United States Post Office and Courthouse. Pretty serious. Now here's a sure enough iconic structure in Chattanooga, the Chattanooga Times building. It's no longer a newspaper, it's now just an office building, but this used to be where the Times was printed, and the Chattanooga Free Press was printed on down the street, and I think over one. And at one point the Times and Free Press consolidated, and when they did, they moved this operation down to the other building. And now this is just, I think, offices or something. But yeah, this is the original Times building for the Chattanooga Times. I don't remember what year they consolidated, but it was probably before I was born. You can tell by the 40s architecture when the building was put up. Isn't that interesting? And then here's the Dwell Hotel. It's a iconic structure in the city. Now I'm down here at Warehouse Row, and this is where all of the really classy retail stores are. So I'm gonna head back that way some, make my way around, because I don't have far to go before I get to where I was headed. So let's do this. I don't know who that is, but yeah, let's head this way. Let's go over here. I haven't been over here. This is where I'm heading towards where the Free Press and Times are now, and we can go over that way and see if there's anything interesting to photograph. Yeah, let's cross the street here. don't know why I'm running, ain't no cars. That's the way it works. All right, here we go. Here's a really interesting architectural feature that you don't see much. Up here along this building, you see all of these little black squares. Those are pockets. And in those pockets, they all have a lintel on the bottom. And what those pockets were seats for beams, for floor joists, for different levels of the building. At that point in time, the brickwork was load-bearing and structural and wasn't just decorative. It's kind of interesting to see things like that and to see how they actually cared about stuff back in the day. And what we have here is the infamous Chattanooga Choo. Built pre-World War I, but it's got a big dome inside there. It's real pretty. All the brickwork's just gorgeous inside. But it's a real iconic location in Chattanooga. Everybody comes to Chattanooga to see the Chattanooga Choo. So this is it, right here. And that's across the street. Somebody either needs to buy that building and renovate it or demo it one. It wasn't with all the graffiti now. I seen the fella that owns this building apparently out here power washing all this off, and they've already put it all back. Well, that was Main Street Meats, and it was loud and good. What'd you eat, Teresa?
Smoked turkey sandwich and salad.
I had biscuits and gravy and a fried egg. Well, as fate would have it, I failed to record the outro again at the end of the vlog in Chattanooga. So here I am at home. It's night, as you can see, and I'm shooting it now. Whew. So what today's vlog was about was just kind of exploring. You got to get out and explore and learn more about the area around you. And you know, I wanted to show off some of the like iconic places in Chattanooga so you could kind of see those. You know, give me some attempts at street photography, or more or less like environmental. And you know, it's like you see a lot of historical reference photos that are shot of just like cityscapes. I have a friend. Oh, everybody's home. Yeah, they're all here now. Anyway, but just get out and get your camera out and go shoot something. I've made friends through this channel with a fella in California called Russell Horton. He has Horton Photography, Russell Horton Photography. He's out in California. I probably just said that. But he makes a good point. Come on. But he makes a good point. Just pick up the camera, and eventually you'll find something interesting to photograph. So with that, this is David, the Georgia photographer. If you like the video, thumbs up, and you know, the channel subscription thing, it's down there if you're interested. So otherwise, until I see you next time, y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.